What is good, guys? Rory Gissing here, and welcome back to my 4-week update for preparing for a Men's Physique Pro Show. If you missed the last update, we decided I need a little bit more size, mainly on my back. We're not actually cutting anymore. I am definitely in a surplus, and we do want to add a good amount of muscle tissue onto that area. This is all still within the realm on how to prepare for a show, because the few months leading up to the cut are super important. The months before a cut is when you basically make sure your metabolism is in a very good place. You want to be eating a lot of calories without actually like crashing on the weight. We'll get to that in a minute because I have actually started crashing on the weight, but you want to make sure that you are like maximum strength, maximum health, and you got to make sure you actually have enough muscle tissue to survive the cut. Because a lot of people during their first cuts, they realize halfway through that what they thought was muscle is actually fat, and when it disappears, then you look a lot smaller than you realize you were. And that's why the months before the cut are still super important, and it should be counted as a part of the whole process on how to look your best come show day. So in this video, I'm gonna go over how much weight I've put on in the last 4 weeks and just compare my week 1 photos to my week 4 photos, as I feel as the athlete, I've actually pushed it too far. However, my coach may have a different opinion. The Arnold Classic just happened in Ohio this weekend, and if you saw the Men's Physique guys, the top 4 athletes were just monsters. They were carrying so much muscle tissue for Men's Physique, and like I said, they were the top 4. So the size was rewarded at the first show of the year. That is the look they're going for. As long as you make weight, I do feel that the roundness, the size is all going to be taken as a positive thing now in Men's Physique rather than being too big. Because if you are too big, you're not going to make the weight. Don't get me wrong, this is still a Men's Physique look. The tiny waist, huge shoulders. It is a great look, and this is something I'm aspiring to be. It is, however, something slightly different to the Ryan Terry look. The results from the Arnold did make me feel that I am still not going to be big enough this season if I want to be a true competitor. However, there is only one way to find out, and I am still planning to get on stage at some point in the summer this year. And whether or not I am going to continue this bulk is going to be down to my coach. I am just going to trust the process, but I am getting quite heavy, and we're going to get into that now. So this was me at week 1, and here I believe I was 218 pounds. Now fast forward to today, my weigh-in today, I was 230 pounds. So in 4 weeks, I've gained 12 pounds, which is, yes, I think is a little bit too extreme. Like I say, I'm gonna see what my coach thinks. But let's just go through and compare them. So I'm gonna start with the front shot. Now the biggest difference here is actually looks like I've lost a bit of roundness. That can happen if you lose a bit of definition, if you lose a little bit of condition, where the skin doesn't come as tight, back onto the joint, and it just loses that fullness. However, what I can say is the photo on week 1 was taken after a chest day. The photo that I did yesterday for week 4, I did after a shoulder day. The shoulder on week 1 does look better, I have to admit, but my chest has absolutely zero pump in this, and I think that is why my chest is looking a lot bigger and fuller on the week 1 shot. Now the shoulders look different because that again is a body fat thing. The leaner you are, the rounder your shoulders can look because you lose the fat just here, which makes the shoulder come in a bit tighter back onto the bone. So you get that roundness illusion. So I am significantly stronger at the moment, so I do feel like there has been muscle tissue gains. It's just now looking back at the photos, being frankly, they just don't look as good. You can also see the difference in my waist. Now I am on just shy of 4,000 calories a day at the moment. So I already had 3 pretty massive meals in me, and I was just struggling to keep my waist as small as possible. However, in the mornings, my waistline is actually measuring exactly the same. So I haven't gained, size on my waist. There is just a lot of food in my stomach, and that is coming through on these check-in photos. But I will admit the ab definition has also decreased since week 1. Now moving on to the back shot, and remember, this is what I wanted to bring up the most. It's very difficult to see with a bit more body fat hiding, all the muscle gains that I'm hoping to have received. However, you can see that there is a little bit more thickness despite the slight lack of definition compared to the week 1 photo. So I am happy. I do feel like we are making progress in bringing up this back. That central line you see, which is essentially my spine, it's where the traps tie back into the spine. I only get that line when I'm very lean. So once that starts disappearing, it does mean, condition has been sacrificed. You can also see everything going on under my armpits, all the small musculature there, and the separation and definition is also being slightly decreased. Although the shadowing is quite different. So it looks like my rear delts have also come up because they are just shadowing out the rest of my underarm just there. But it could also be just because it's a shoulder day and they just have a better pump because I did quite a few sets of rear delts there. Nonetheless, I'm happy to see that my back is growing. There is some thickness starting to develop in my back, which I'm hoping is not just the illusion of some extra body fat being put on. And it is my lower lats, which you really do see the biggest difference in thickness. And it's just more shadowing because there's more muscle hanging off my back there. Now, what you can't see in the photos is my legs. It's men's physique, so I don't do my check-ins, in my underwear or anything. I'm happy just to go upper body here, but my legs are growing quite a bit, I can tell, because of the damn thigh chafe. It is chafing like mad. I mean, yes, I'm doing a little bit more cardio, but I'm not doing walking cardio. I'm not doing like the treadmill incline. I'm just doing the bike because I chafe a lot. It is, I don't know if I have like a narrow hip. It doesn't look like it considering the size of my waist, but my legs have always been very rubbing together. I've got some elephant skin going on down there now. But I can say with absolute confidence, my legs have come up quite a bit in the last 4 weeks. So that's where a lot of the weight is also going to be held. So it is a bit of a weird update this week as an athlete, I feel I should not be gaining body fat at this stage. I do think that any body fat I add now is just going to make the prep even harder. If I add 5 pounds of body fat now, I have to lose 5 pounds of body fat before my show. So it makes no sense to be adding body fat at this stage. I believe I did say in the previous video that this is going to be a lean bulk phase, and I just think we pushed it a bit too hard. But I have a conversation with my coach tomorrow. We are going to discuss the next phase. And if we do feel like we probably do need to bulk for longer, if I've actually gained enough muscle tissue to stand with these guys, or if we are now in a good place and the body fat is increased a bit too much and we could then potentially start cutting down and actually start looking ahead at what shows to be done. So that'll be for next week's video. I am somewhat expecting some changes, so I might as well just do a day in the life on my next update. Then I can show you everything that's going on and all the changes that we're going to be making. But this is why it's so important to not have a plan set in stone. Things need to change every single week to make sure you stay on track to your goals. But that is everything for today, guys. If you made it this far, I just want to say thank you so much. It is wild to me still that people get this invested into my life, my story, my achievements, whatever you want to call it, and the lead up to me competing for the 2024 season. So thank you guys so much. I'd really appreciate it if you smashed that like button. But that is everything for today. I will catch you in the next video next Wednesday.